And good evening, everybody. My name is Dewo, and this is my partner Dante. Once again, welcome back to the 2D podcast.
We hope you enjoyed the last video we made. We would like to take the chance to once again thank everyone for the support you have given us and for the positive comments that we were given from the last podcast.
So, what's up? It's great to be back after quite a long break. So, we got busy with school since it was the last few weeks. Now our schedules opened up, so we found time to record some videos, and we're back for more.
Yeah, so like as y'all know, in the last episode, we talked about the Myanmar coup. And today we got to talk for all of our fellow Indonesians. Let's talk COVID and vaccines here. Hey yo, have you guys got vaccinated yet? Because I got my 2 shots recently, and I'm very happy about it. How about you, though?
Hmm, got mine last week. So I slept through a whole day's school after, and that was fun. I don't know. I think I just felt like sleepy after, so I passed out. But yeah, I'm okay. Um, got I got both my back shots too, and I'm happy about it. So yeah, hope everyone else is doing well. But anyways, let's get to the meat of the episode.
So let's get right into it. So first up is a quick recap on the current situation. And for example, right now, Jakarta, we're going to talk about the Jakarta and COVID and vaccine reports. We're going to be talking about the info and zones, like the red, black, orange, green, and etc. And the new changes to regulations about learning for school, and etc. etc. So I'll begin first with the Jakarta COVID and vaccine report. So first of all, Jakarta is Indonesia's capital city, and it's also known as the national epicenter of the crisis through much of the pandemic. It's no longer among the top 5 provinces in terms of cases. In terms of deaths, it is the 17th of 34 provinces here in Indonesia. Some 54% of the capital, which is nearly 11 million residents, are fully vaccinated, and 92% have received at least one shot as of Tuesday. But nationally, the figures stand at around 13 and 23%. Most of the doses administered are from, of course, China's Sinovac, smaller numbers of vaccinations from brands such as AstraZeneca, Moderna, Pfizer, BioNTech, and Sinopharm. And though onto influence zones.
So not gonna lie, we tried looking this up, but there's no. I haven't seen a clear map, so I'll just say whatever I saw. So right now, like recently, okay. So we looked it up yesterday. Today's August. Today's September what 2, right? So we
Yes,
looked it
sir.
up on the first. Jakarta. If I could remember my colors, it's like a greenish blue, which is great because considering that we came from what red to orange, and now it's projected as a greenish blue.
Yes.
Um, oh yeah. So basically, the way I understand this is, the warmer the color, the worse it is. The cooler the color, the better it is. Okay, so worse you can get is black, but yeah, we're in the greenish blue zone, so I assume we're getting better. I'm not saying we're in a good spot, but we're getting better. There's progress being made. Um, there are some changes. Like when I say changes, like there's like news popping up everywhere, and like sounds fun, I guess. So yeah, pretty interesting there. Uh, there are still a lot of spots that are within the danger zones, reds, oranges. Some are black. I know that my one of my housekeepers lived in an area that was a black zone and probably still is a black zone. Um, correct me if I'm wrong, but the areas that are less quote unquote developed are the ones that are most likely to be within the darker reddish black zones like that. So yeah, I think we're okay. I don't know. Do you think we're okay?
I mean, like, so far, like, if we're taking it on from, like, recently, from, like, the past few weeks or so, I would say we're making some steady progress. Like, we're doing good, but, like, there's still a lot of work needed to be done, but we're going towards the right path. Like, we need to have, good hope that this is how that if things keep going this way, we could probably be back to where everything was by next year. Hopefully by mid next year or next year, hopefully we can hope that things are back to normal. But as of right now, we just have to, stay at home, stay healthy and just keep doing our thing. For the past month or 2 months during PPKM, that's what we should just be doing so that, situations can keep getting better. And so that hopefully in the future, we can go back to the way it was. And we can forget about this whole pandemic and move on with our lives in the future. Okay, so after that, I would say like we should, of course, talk about the new changes to
Okay, this is gonna be the
regulations.
majority of this whole episode. This is gonna be
Yes,
us ranting.
because
Trust
this
me.
is where we would be explaining a lot more in
Okay.
detail, but like our opinions about the regulations, especially about blended learning, especially about that, because I'm pretty sure both me and Dale will have our opinions
Yeah.
about the whole regulations and stuff. So we'll talk about that later on. But as of right now, let's like get into a whole general understanding of what the regulations are. So basically, as for schools, there has been a lot of concerns raised over the gradual reopening about like around this time, which began on Monday in some regions, with in-person classes allowed at half capacity. In Jakarta, 610 schools are taking part in the reopening, and around 900 more are expected to join by the end of September. That's a lot. Like a lot. Considering from how the last time this has never happened before. The last time it was about to happen, it only happened for like it was just a planning stage, but then another variant came on and the whole canceled the whole thing. But the fact that like they think it's already fine and they're already straight away like opening it to around 1,500 schools is crazy, which we will talk about later on. And the health ministry data also shows that only 6.5% of children aged 12 to 17 have been fully vaccinated, fueling concerns they will spread the virus to their families. So, like from that data itself, we should ask ourselves, what the hell? I'm sorry for like it, but seriously, what the hell? Like, think about this, okay? Like, let's even those side right now. It doesn't make sense. Yes, only 6.5%, right? How many kids are there around Indonesia? Pretty sure, like, the younger generation makes up around 60-70% of Indonesia's population. So only 6.5% of them have been vaccinated. So that's like what? 6% of 75, that's around. So then like, there's like another 70% still has not been vaccinated. And that's a huge majority. So um, major red flag right there.
Yeah.
Excuse
Yeah.
me.
I'm
At the very
like
least, at least 50% should be vaccinated. Not six, it's not 7%.
the
That's
way
scary.
the way I see it is everything is happening way too quickly. It's like the best metaphor I can come up for is like anyone jumping to conclusions. You know,
Exactly.
like there is no guarantee that this is gonna work. There is no guarantee that we're all gonna be safe. There's no guarantee that it's gonna be as effective as real learning, let alone HBL. Okay, like
Like speaking
personally,
of, yeah,
home
go ahead.
based learning has been I'm not gonna say a blast, but it's been fine for me. Right? So I've been able to chill right with like the whole thing because pretty much I don't worry like I don't I don't have too much trouble with like keeping up classes because of this whole HBL thing. But now they're throwing that away, throwing possibly throwing our safe like students' and teachers' safety away just to come back to school. I'm like, what are you doing?
Exactly. My point exactly. And like speaking of student vaccinations, local watchdog Lapro COVID-19 said
F
that
word.
student vaccinations must be accelerated if in-person classes are to be held. Quote, see, if even people like watchdogs, like people have been speaking out in media saying that student vaccination should be more focused upon and accelerated, especially if we're gonna start blended learning in-person classes in a manner of where we're gonna be starting like go back readjusting to how it was before. We have to think about the consequences, of course, the risks. Like
Hmm.
what like one like the main risk, like I mentioned before, is if only 6.5% of students in Indonesia or around that much have been vaccinated, and around 70 other percent have not been vaccinated, is it really worth taking the risk of potentially knowing that 70%, other 70% or more, or even less, I don't know, children have not been vaccinated yet? And another thing we should also speak about is here's the thing. Like the data said, 6.5% of children aged 12 to 17. That's just the age range. We haven't talked about kids who are younger than that.
12 is like what grade?
12 is seventh grade.
Seventh
Seventh grade.
ish, right?
Eh, oh,
Dude,
how about the kids below younger than that? They're still not qualified to take the vaccine. They're still too young.
to be honest, I feel like if there's anyone that needs physical school like badly, it would be the younger audience, or like sorry, the younger students. Because
Yeah,
like I don't know, right? But personally, I mean, like as I'm growing up, I feel like the younger you are, the more you need physical understanding of things. You can't just look at a screen and be like, oh
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Or at least
Because
not majority of your life and education.
yeah, but elementary school, like for younger kids, is a very like important foundation in everyone's life because that's when you enter school in a bigger stage, and that's when you meet your friends. That's when you meet your childhood friends, which you need to be doing in physical school. But in online school and blended learning, for example, how are you gonna do that? Like for example, in our case, right, though, like we're like we're in the 12 to 17 age range, right?
Yeah, we are.
And technology is we're so used to technology. Could easily play with our friends, could call them, video call them, could go, and we always meet each other in class, so we can always just text each other during classes or stuff like that. We can always do that. But how do you think it's
Not
like?
like we do. We pay attention to
Yeah,
class.
we pay attention in classes. Okay,
Yo.
we do. But okay, let's not talk about that.
um.
So basically, yeah, how is it for the younger kids? How is it gonna be? They're not accustomed to technology or to an age like this, like we have. I mean, like even though the new normal when it was normal, yeah, I know we had to go to physical school, but still, when we were at home, we could so easily call our friends, and we can meet a lot of people online. But the internet or social media is not that safe for younger kids.
Yeah.
So how do you expect them to make
Everyone.
friends?
Every parent is already like, oh no, don't let your kid. It's like you know how parents, when they're like when we were growing up, they're like, hey, don't let your kid just stay on the internet forever and ever, yada yada yada. Don't stay on tech. They're like, go outside. Oh, I mean, yeah. We've grown up. I mean, listen. There's always a possibility that the new generation can be like, yeah, tech basic as hell, right? Sure,
Yeah,
but at the
of
same time,
course.
it's like, coming from a guy that's grown up in a way where I've been in school, it's pretty effective. It's good.
Yeah,
Socializing in person feels so much nicer than
of course.
than looking at a
Then they're just
screen.
doing it online. Yeah, I mean, like yeah, getting to just call your friends online. It's added. It's really fun
It's
because yeah,
fun,
yeah,
but it's
we're
not
just blessed.
exactly socializing, is it?
Yeah, like and
I mean,
it's pretty
eh,
unhealthy too. To always stare at screens all the time for like multiple hours at a
right?
time. Just like which raises concerns for parents, right, about the use of electronics and screen time, especially during
Like
online school.
growing up,
That's
calling
healthy,
friends and like video calling, screen sharing, playing games was a thing we did after school, totally, like totally after
of
school, right?
course.
And now it's like during school time, after school time, before
That's like
school.
every day, like in online school, we spend around 8 hours, like or more so on like online on our devices, because it's not just school in general. This is also where we have to work on our like homework, our projects,
Yeah.
especially online now. Like it's different than like let's say physical school. Yes, most of the things we do in or like how we like complete tasks in physical school, yeah, it's through like laptops, through technology. But at least we get to socialize. But like we get to at least submit like when we do tests, we actually do it on paper. Like we actually do it like in front of an actual teacher instead of like, for example, right now we're having a test right now online and like, oh, it's a math test. Ooh, let's do it. But at the same time, online school has its benefits, has its disadvantages at the same time. But I mean, we're grown accustomed to it, right? We're used to the life it is now as a online school student. Like we're used to it now. But so that the fact that imagine having to go back to school in a blended learning program where we are like having to go to school for like on just a few hours, and after that we go back home and do the rest of the school online.
Oh yeah.
Like
So
it's weird, isn't it?
what's the okay, not explicitly saying what school we're from, but what's our like basic schedule? I'm
We
gonna
think our basic schedule is from what I know is basically like just like the normal school range we have now, we have around 4 to 5 subjects, right, per day.
Yeah.
So and that's around an hour each. That's around 4 hours of school, right? Basically, from what I know is in blended learning, for example, and if you go to school, if you take that option, 2 hours, the first 2 hours of class, so means two classes will be done at school. We go to school physically and we do 2 hours of classes there, or just two classes. Then after that, we go home and we do the rest of the other two classes at our house online.
Yeah.
Now, now I
What?
could, like,
Oh,
I know you're supposed to think about the positives, right? I know, like, when you think when something comes out that's supposed to be good, you're supposed to think about the positive side, right? You're like, oh, think about the positive instead of negatives. I'm trying so hard to think about the positives of this, but all I can see is just the negatives. And I'm not trying to be like a negative thinker. I'm not trying to be like, a pessimist or something. But come on, I'm sorry. Like one of the main arguments I have about that is, for example, if you're only doing 2 hours of classes, 2 hours in physical school, and we just go back home and do the other two online. Why don't we just do 2 hours like the full online, right? It doesn't make sense
you know.
because you
Oh,
gotta
okay.
save fuel. How do you think you're gonna go to school with your car, and you're gonna waste more fuel and energy, harms the environment for only going to school for which will only take 2 hours? Like, well, we
Oh,
could just
that
spend
is such a good point.
exactly. Well, we
That
could
is
just
such a
spend
good
an
point.
a full 4 hours, harming the environment. I mean, yeah, we're using
Yeah,
energy,
yeah,
but
yeah. It's
if
not
you
only
if you talk
tedious, but it's actually horrible. It's actually not a good thing to do.
yeah, exactly. So parents, if you're watching this, listen to my points. It's very important. I don't.
Let me clear some things up, okay? So before we get bashed on or anything.
Yeah.
One, COVID bad, okay? I'm not saying
Yeah.
like, you know what? Let's not get out of COVID. Let's not get
Yeah,
out of
that's not what we're
quarantine.
saying.
I would love to
Yeah, I
meet
would love to.
people. I'd
Yeah,
love to hang out with
for
my
sure.
friends. But trust me, just me and Dante, it's not safe. We've seen. I've had close friends and acquaintances that have been exposed to the pandemic and its virus. Not fun. Two,
Exactly.
we are not. We are all into tech. Okay, we're all into tech. Okay, when
Yeah.
I know I was talking about like how um younger kids should actually go to school. Like while they're young, they have to visit school so that they understand the feeling of socializing, whatnot. Um, that's not to uh keep them away from tech, something like that. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm all for tech. Me and Dante were tech heads. I mean, this whole podcasting, none of it is really physical.
Yeah. It's
We don't
online.
write. We don't um talk. We call, record, type. Okay, so we're all for tech. And lastly, um, I am a man who appreciates progress. Me and Dante are are people who are men who appreciate progress. Okay, we like that people are taking steps to be coming back to normal. I've always said the fact that I hated the idea of a new normal. There should have
Yeah.
never been a new normal. It should have been like a normal with a few extra changes, but it's not exactly a new normal, is it?
Yeah.
I
New
want
normal is
I want
everything
us to go
different, you
back to
know?
school, but when it's safe. I want teachers to teach students physically when it's safe. I want people to go to their offices, to go to work, meet their friends, hang out at the mall when it's safe. I don't want people walking around with the idea like, you know what, I might go home and actually end up in the ICU the next day. Not exactly a fun thought to have now, is it? Right? Like, dude.
Like,
And
I
Dante
want to go
raised
to
like the
school.
best point ever when
Yeah.
you're describing the schedule. For us,
Exactly.
okay, imagine we had to go for 2 hours. One would be going there.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
that
First of
takes
all,
time, gets
it's gonna
ready in
take
the
around. Yeah.
morning. You
Uh
gotta
huh.
drive there. Aside from school, going back, we haven't even talked about how many times you have to shower.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah. Exactly. It's gonna be kind of crazy, really think about it, because if we go back, right? Okay, what's gonna happen is after what in our school, what happens is after 2 hours, after two classes, it's automatically lunchtime, right? Which is a break. We have around 50 minutes of lunchtime, right? But here's the thing: if you do it in physical school, after you're done, right? We have 50 minutes for a break, and then for the people who live far from that school. how is it gonna be like for them if they only have 50 minutes to go back? Because minimum for me, to go back from the school to my house is around 40 minutes.
And I'm
So
probably
if
an
it takes
extra
you
10,
40,
so
yeah,
50.
it's 50. It takes, it'll take you 50, 40, 50 minutes for us. So if we were to, by the time we reach home, class will start. And don't forget, we also have to shower. We have to, because we have to, we have to decontaminate ourselves. We have to shower, we change clothes, back to our uniform again. We're gonna have to wear two uniforms in one day, and then, like we go class again.
Yeah,
Like
trust me. I mean, this is not us berating
we're not.
school
It's
or
just,
progress. This is literally
it's
from the most constructively critical way we can speak. We can talk about this.
exactly.
This is all constructive criticism. This is all things that me and Dante are questioning. Like, I get it. No one likes this. No one likes not being able to meet people. But
Of course.
it's either that or risk your life going out forcing possible classes that aren't generally safe.
Exactly. Like,
Those two.
have you ever thought about the environment or what it's gonna be like when we go to school? Like, I want to be able to meet my friends, but without wearing masks and having to stay 6 feet apart from each other. I don't want to do that. That's gonna be annoying. It's like, oh, we're gonna be wearing a mask, right? 6 feet apart. Like, yo, dude. Like, sometimes it's hard to speak through a mask, right? So you can like say something and your friend cannot hear because it's kind of gets like covered up by the
Yeah.
mask.
It's just gonna be like
Frustrating.
it's gonna be like, hey, and then be like, huh?
Huh?
Hey, huh?
Like, huh?
Hey, huh?
So you got, yeah,
Yo.
it's hard. It's really hard because like think about the adjustment we have to take. It's gonna be very hard because also think about this. If we have to stay 6 feet apart, we have to wear masks all the time. How would we like? How would we communicate with our friends? Like if we have a short break
Bro,
of time.
imagine group work
Oh,
together, huh?
yeah. Oh, for example, okay, I can imagine group work so well.
Yeah.
Example, this is me. I'm like, hey, yo, guys, housework. Then, and then this is me. And then, for example, imagine I'm like 6 feet apart from someone. I'm 6 feet away from myself. Hello, what? Hello. How?
And
What if the
then,
classrooms are small? Have you ever thought about
oh no,
cramped up
I have not
spaces?
visited any
Cramped up
classrooms.
spaces. Classrooms where you have to
Well,
stay 6 feet
wouldn't they
apart.
have to like force so much things? They'd force like not daily routine disinfections.
Exactly.
They'd have
It's
to
so
leave their
tiring.
windows open. They'd have to run
Yeah,
their max air conditioning or
and we
whatever.
also have to always
Whatever
take,
whatever your school has, they're probably
and
gonna
we
have
also
to
have to take
force
a
it.
swab test like every day and stuff. Like,
Right.
come
Bro.
on. Like,
Plus, there's no guarantee that students don't do anything on their private life. I'm not trying to throw shade or anything. I'm not saying
yeah,
like I know what you do on a daily basis, but
exactly.
um, it's. I mean, I get it. It's a matter of trust. You don't want to endanger your life nor other people's, but
Like, come
really,
on, like it's a huge risk. Huge
really,
risk.
like
Like,
students like us growing up, you don't want to do what you're not supposed to do. You know how tempting that is. Come on. Come on.
I would love
Again,
to be a
I'm not
friend.
throwing shade. I'm just saying, like.
Exactly. Because like, oh, for example, right? They said, oh, stay 6 feet apart from each other in school. You really think people are gonna follow that? How are you gonna enforce that law? You have security cameras in every hallway now or something? How are you gonna enforce that law, huh? You can't monitor every student. You can't. So people can just break protocol and do something. Some people could even not be wearing their masks. Now that's gonna be a whole problem. See, here's the thing. I know COVID's very serious. I'm not saying people don't take COVID seriously. I'm not making assumptions that people don't, something like that. I'm not trying to make assumptions like that. But we don't have a guarantee that everyone will be wearing masks. Because here's the thing: wearing like masks in a school where it's normally cramped. Schools are normally cramped, right? Street hallways and classrooms are normally cramped. And sometimes, especially a classroom with no windows, and you have to run an AC, it's so hot. There's no air, and we have to be wearing a mask for an hour. How are we supposed to breathe? We're gonna be sweating. It's gonna be so hard. We're gonna be sweating. Like we're gonna be like, oh my, and for example, if we're gonna drink or something, we're gonna have to do it in a place where no one's at. That's gonna be hard, you know. Imagine like you're thirsty. There's people around you, so you have to go far away just to open your mask, drink water. See, that's my point exactly.
Look, all we're
Oh,
saying is like, I get it. We get it. We want to go back, but it's too hard. It's too way too unsafe. It's too uncertain. It's
What's the
just
point of
practically gambling.
gambling? We're gambling. No, it's
We're
not
gambling
gambling
with
money. We're
lives,
gambling
dude.
our lives
Yeah,
in
come
this. This is
on.
a very serious matter. This
Any
is not something to
plus
just like
anything happens to students, backlash. Even worse.
that.
I'm telling you. Respect for attempting to do progress, but from the consumer, right? Technically, we're the consumer standpoint. No, I wouldn't.
You know,
I'd rather
as
stay
much
home.
as like you know kind of what you're doing is for school, you're only keeping 50% students, right? So 50% in one day, right? Only 50
Yeah,
50%. And here's the thing, I know you're gonna take swab tests and all, but sometimes some person could test negative on that swab test like in that time. But after they got tested positive. And
exactly.
that
Nothing is
happens.
certain.
Or
Nothing's certain in COVID.
exactly. And here's the thing. This is the thing I'm most scared of. I'm really scared, especially with the data that only 6.5% are vaccinated. This is what I'm more scared of. If and I'm also saying, okay, I know being vaccinated. So I'm not saying this true shade on vaccination or something. No, I'm not. But it's been proven. It's been proven. People who get vaccinations can still get it. You can still get it.
Right,
You can still get it even though you get vaccinated. It's just that you just have protection. It's the
dude.
difference between. It's just the difference.
Fully
So
vac is it's like here. Imagine being in a gunfight wearing a bulletproof vest. It's not
yeah, you
it's
get
not like
shot.
everyone will
Yeah,
get shot in the chest, you
yeah.
know?
You can get
Head,
shot in the head. You
arms,
could die.
legs. There's still a chance for you to
There's
get hurt.
we
Same thing
only have
here.
a
It's
yeah.
just
We
a
only have a
layer of
70%.
protection.
Yeah,
Not it's like you don't
it's not a cure.
a phone will not survive a hammer strike just because it has a screen protector on. Well, it
This is not a
exactly.
cure. The
It's
vaccines
not a
are not a cure.
cure. It's a
They're treatment for
protection.
protection. It's treatment
It's
for protection
protection.
for us against it, which is essentially a cure, but not 100%. We have around 70% protection, so there's still a 30% chance we can still get it. Like what? And here's the thing. It's what I'm most scared of. Okay, it's a situation I never want to think of. I never want to, and I don't want to throw shade. But if it does happen, it's legit so bad. Here's the thing. You know how we're gonna be spending time with classes with students and stuff, right? Even though they're wearing masks and stuff, right? They're wearing masks and stuff. You have to protect people from getting infected by it or something, and stuff like that, right? If one person tests positive, a student tests positive for COVID, what would happen to the rest of the students? Like what? That's a huge risk. Everyone, imagine that. I don't want to go in like worst case scenario. But we have to be realistic. This is a very realistic, like a very realistic situation. I'm not trying to be like like a bad omen. You're saying something that's happen. No,
Oh man.
I'm being realistic here. That's the danger. That's the most serious injury that could actually happen, which is exactly why parents are concerned about kids going back. Not just 6.5% and just have been vaccinated. No, it's the fact that the other majority still has it, and the fact that also the vaccinated, like the minority, could still get it. And schools are not malls. Malls are huge spaces where but the people come and go, right? While in schools, yeah, people come and go, but we're at least there for at least a minimum 2 hours.
It's like
Like what? That's like scary, right? I mean, like I don't want to think of it, but it's scary. It's very scary.
I mean, it's I really don't know the benefit,
I
except
don't
the fact that you get to meet people in person. I don't see a benefit.
exactly. What is the benefit? We could like here's the thing. If schools are thinking about monetary problems, what do you mean? We're paying the exact same amount for us to be doing online school. So I don't get what you're trying to point here.
Me and
Exactly.
Dante have talked about this a lot, and there's some things that we cannot say to protect our privacy. It's just that
Yep.
we're saying it's just like there's so many conditions that instead of this becoming an opportunity, it's more like it's just a chore.
Yeah.
It's not
I know.
we're not
Yeah, go ahead.
it's not a chance to go back to normal. It's just a weird it's like it's not even plan B, it's like plan F. It's like so weird. Weirdly
Like I
put.
like I know the government wants us to slowly adjust back to normal, but if there's still a chance that we might still get it, are you sure that's a risk you're willing to take? Like think about it. There's still a high chance we could still get it. And I'm not trying to be a pessimist here, but we have to face facts. This pandemic is far from over.
Yeah.
It's still a long It's still a
We're
long
making
path.
progress, but it's not
We're making
like
progress, but it's all a long path before we're done. So, and the fact that we're starting this early, I mean, I know it's been a year. It's been a year or 2 years
Oh my,
ever since it started.
how long is
Oh
it?
my god. Okay,
I
wait.
remember getting out of school on
I
April
think 2 years. 2 years.
2020.
I think it's two. No, no, no. A year and a half. I think it's a year and a half.
Yeah,
Yeah, a year and a half. A year and a half. It's
yeah.
been a year and a half since the whole thing started, and then there's still a lot of cases. I know we're containing it better, but the last time we say we contained it, where we were able to bring down the cases to like an all-time low, oh, people started going out again. PPKM was like removed. People started going, on malls again. People who got vaccinated thought they don't have to wear masks anymore and stuff like that. And next thing you know, you got a huge up to like rise in cases back to 40K cases, 50K
Yeah.
cases per week. And now we're back. And now we're back to square one.
Hey, look at it. Coming from the group that is an Indonesian, I'm looking at Indonesia like, what are you doing? Right? And I'm not even talking about like official government, whatever. I'm talking about the people. So people like an audience that I can relate to myself. Like, what am I watching? What is this? Why
It's
you? Why are we going back when clearly, even our own, some not our everyone, but like a lot of
not fair.
our own people are
Yeah.
kind of iffy about it themselves.
Yeah. Like, I don't know why the government. I'm not trying to throw shit on government, but like I
Yeah,
don't
we're
know
in no place.
why.
We're in no place to
Yeah,
do
we're
that.
no place, but we're just saying as opinions, as our opinion. Why must you really do this in a time of transitioning? We're still trying to contain as it is. Like our main goal right now is as a country, we should be focusing on containing this pandemic to be able to make sure that this will never like escalate to a pandemic ever again. And we should be doing what Singapore is doing. Just treat it as a flu, which is what we should be doing. That should be our end goal. That's what we should be working on right now. We should not be working towards bringing back schools, opening schools up again for students to go back. Why? Why? I'm pretty sure every student's already accustomed. They're already used to online school. So what's the point of us having to readjust back to normal again, but there's still high risk of us still getting it?
Yeah,
Like I'm perfectly fine later on going back to physical school, but when there's a sure certainty that I won't get it, like there's not going to be a 40% chance I'm still going to get it. Like, as long as if I get it
totally,
later on in the future, obviously be a flu.
totally.
Like I will take that risk. I'm not going to gamble my life just to meet people. I can meet Dewo through online call. I can meet my friends through online call. That's good enough for me. As long as we can still talk to our friends, right?
Totally.
That's all that matters. I mean, I know we all, of course, want to see our loved ones, our friends again, but at what cost? Do we really want to risk, like, potentially our lives to do that? Especially for school, where we could just be doing, like, this is 2021. This is a new era. This is a new generation where everyone is legit used to technology at this point. Like, so that rush? Why rush bring us back to school? Why? Why not just let us continue online school until it's very safe? Then we can go back. So we don't have to worry about 50% students only going there and only going to school for half, doing the rest at online. Logically, it's a bad idea. I'm sorry. Logically, if you really think about it, it's really weird. I'm sorry. I'm in no place to be judging, but like in my opinion, and I'm sure Dale feels the same. It's kind of like flawed because it's weird if you really think about it. 2 hours in school, it's gonna take us around an hour to go there, an hour to go back, where we have to decontaminate, shower, go back to class again. When we could just spend a full 4 hours online, not having to worry about all of that, about the potentially going out and getting it, while we can stay at home in our comfort zone, in our homes, not having to worry about anything except for school. Exactly. See?
Thank you.
Anything? You didn't have anything more to add, though.
I would, but I think we've already overstepped some boundaries, so
Yeah,
I
where's the
think it's a
boundary?
good
I'm
place
sorry.
to end. Thank
Yeah,
you. That's you've
yeah.
raised some
I'm
really good
sorry. Like
points.
in
You've raised some good
advance, we should.
points.
I'm gonna
Okay,
apologize for
freedom of
overstepping my
speech.
boundaries. Freedom of speech, but I feel like I'm speaking out of my place because who am I to judge? I mean, they were just students. We're just students. I mean, to be
We're
fair, we're speaking about this from a student's point of view. We're not saying this as a government official. No, we're just speaking from a student's point of view on how some students might see it. We're not representing every student. We're just representing some students who share the same point of view as we do, right? Though.
like this whole thing, this rant, this argument. it's not us speaking. It's not us speaking out of our asses. Okay, it's
It's not.
genuine thought, emotion,
Yes.
and concern. Like,
Yes.
it's not. I'm not. No, to the people, to the organizations that we've criticized, quote unquote. It's not a matter of us talking bad. It's a matter of us genuinely being
Just give our
scared.
opinion. Yeah. We're just
It's
scared.
it's like our real emotions. It's our real thoughts.
Yeah.
It's not like us trying to pick a fight. It's us
No, we're not.
trying to protect ourselves and the people we know, the people we love, and then the people we actually care about.
Yes.
So remember, this is a podcast, not some official
Yeah,
meeting
we're
that's
not.
gonna
We're
be
just yeah,
broadcasted
yeah.
through national TV.
No,
No,
no. We're just here to just give our opinions. So just like
totally.
the whole platform or like the whole meaning behind this podcast is
But
just,
we get it. We're not in a place to say a lot of the
yeah,
things
we're
that
just
we
I know.
the
Yeah.
things that we know,
Yeah,
the things
so we
that we want
apologize
to
in
say.
advance.
So to be safe, we'll wrap it up here, and we'll call it a
Yeah,
day. Let's sit. Let's get ready for the outro.
yeah,
That's
wait.
it for
One
today,
last thing I should
everybody.
say is, last
Let's
thing I
go
should
ahead.
say is, um, don't like be commenting saying, "Oh, like stop being like such a know-it-all." So we're not. We're just giving our
Yeah,
opinions.
no, we
I don't know
googled 10 minutes.
everything
Trust
about
me.
this. Yeah, like we researched, of course. So we're just saying what we know, and we're just giving our opinions about it. So don't be calling us know-it-alls. We're just saying what we know when we think about it. Okay, so apologize in advance about offended people, and yeah, that's all I have to say. So let's begin the outro, shall we?
Yeah, thank you for your points. Thank you for your opinions. And that's it for today, everybody. Well, everyone, it feels great to be back making podcasts. Stay tuned for more interesting ones. And we hope you had a good time listening to us. So maybe you learned a thing or two. Maybe we helped confirm your suspicions about anything, or maybe you even found something wrong with us. For that matter, don't judge.
Yes. Once again, we say sorry. Once again, as yet like what I said before, it's Dante and Dewo, and thank you for joining us on the 2D podcast. Have a great day and stay safe, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye.